folded and then stuffed haphazardly among a pile of now rotting onions, you find a piece of parchment marked with an official-looking seal and titled Evidence of Residence in the Candlekeep Territories. A bit wordy, and a bit more aromatic than you'd like, but it should do the trick.
Good. Now return to that individual Scratch. Let us hope that he is adequate to the task.
Hope or not, we don't have many other options to resort to, Vair.
Why must you insist on calling me that?
It's what everyone in the village called you. It's easier than saying your full name.
Be glad that I am a magnanimous and forgiving dragon, else I would be inclined to start tearing up your mind again.
Don't worry, you're already a big enough headache as it is.
Ah, is that a bit of legal documentation I see there? And smell? Whew. Okay, well, you work with what you've got, right? Give me a bit to scrape off and refinish the important parts, then I'll start with colour matching, then confirming handwriting, and your eyes are glazing over. Just give me the goods and wait a bit. And here you go. Certification that you absolutely belong to the area and can come and go as you like. Just don't let any wizards near it. They get curious. They've probably got spells or something that can sniff out a forgery. Otherwise, though, no one will ever be the wiser. Enjoy the castle!
Papers, please.
Here's my residence certificate.
The guard glances at the paper, noting the seal and the signatures, but does not peer too closely. Watching him scrunch up his nose, the cursory inspection might have to do with not wanting to put his face too close to the smell of rancid onions.
All right. Everything looks fine. Head on in. Just keep an eye out for any strange activity.
Passing through the city walls, you are dumped into a large, open square that seems to double as a marketplace. It is not exactly brimming with life, but considering how you've lived nearly all of your life in a small village, the number of people in one place is staggering, and the activity threatens to be overwhelming.
Good. That was tedious, but we made it. Now the next part could be problematic. Only the Avowed and certain others are allowed into the inner ward through the emerald door on the far side of this courtyard. Talk to the keeper there and determine what is required to get in and speak with one of the experts.
What business have you here, child?
I wish to speak with one of the researchers.
You and everyone else. Do you have an appointment or letter of introduction?
Yes, I am to speak with Avowed Tenbury.
I do not see any appointments for any Avowed by that name. You will have to contact them again and go through the appropriate channels to ensure that this oversight is amended.
Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
This is unacceptable. We must find someone to assist us, and soon. I can only imagine what those monsters are doing with my body, and already I chafe at being confined to yours.
Wow, thanks. Well, do you happen to know where we could find a rare or unique book?
No. Distasteful as this may be, we might have to find another dubiously legal way around this problem. Actually, I remember passing a sewer grate earlier. If there are sewers for this outer area, then they surely have some for the inner ward.
So, you want me to break into a sewer, sneak through Ogma knows what kind of filth, and then break into the inner ward to, what? Kidnap or threaten a scholar into helping us?
Presumably, we would be able to find someone more reasonable, or at least amenable to our request. However, we cannot do that from out here. The sewers are our only option right now.
You only say this because you won't have to smell what I do.
Actually, I will. You think I only see through your eyes? Child, I am bound to experience everything that you do. Believe me, sharing in your bodily functions these past weeks has been far from enjoyable.
Ew. Okay, point taken. Sewers it is then, I guess? This is what living in a city means? How can one place produce so much filth?
You sounded as if you knew what you were getting into.
I thought I did. Didn't think it'd be this plentiful.
The byproduct of civilization. People are messy.
Thayer, are you okay?
Do not call me that. It's strange. Even without a body or the need to breathe, I feel a tightness in my chest, lightheadedness. I think that it would be best to spend as little time in here as possible. Please, hurry through this place.
Wait, you don't sound so good. What's going on?
We need to move quickly. You are wasting time.
Something is definitely wrong. Are you hurt? In danger?
No. Now move. Go.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No. Now stop asking idiotic questions.
Well, I was actually just getting used to the smell. Thought maybe we could wander around a bit. Maybe find a spot for a picnic.
No. We will move through here as quickly as possible. Do you understand?
Alright, let's make this quick.
That is the right direction, and it seems to no longer be sewers beyond this point. These are probably the tunnels running beneath the inner ward I have heard of. Catacombs, vaults, labs. Much of the work and knowledge of the Avowed is down here, it seems. Unfortunately, there is a ward on the door. You will need to find a key, unless you wish to be fried.
No, I don't.
Wait, look at that. On the ground.
There's nothing on the ground.
Precisely.
Helpful?
The rest of this place is a riot of grime and muck, child, yet this path is almost spotless. I would be willing to bet half of my entire horde that a gelatinous cube has come this way.
A what now?
An oozing monster that inhabits places like this. Some people and more intelligent creatures keep them as witless guardians and janitors. The things absorb and dissolve any animal or plant material they touch as a way of eating. They cannot dissolve metals and other non-living things, though, so they can carry the equipment and goods of whomever they have eaten for some time.
Whomever? As in people?
Of course. Do not be dense, child. Now follow this trail. You might find something interesting floating in the cube's body. Just be careful, though, as they can be transparent and thus easy to overlook. There, look. The thing has a key inside of it. It must have eaten a maintenance worker or one of the Avowed. That might get us out of the sewers and into the cleaner part we saw earlier. Just don't let the creature suck you up. Please? Yes, it looks as if an enchantment quite similar to the one on the locked door is embedded in this key. It should work to get us through.
And what if it sets off the trap?
Then you had best hope that the mage who put it there set it more as a deterrent rather than a defense.
Okay, just going to open the door. The magically trapped door stuffed with potentially lethal lightning. Right, okay. And still alive. Right, well, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, be not so dramatic. You could find much worse before we are done here. I have heard tell that there are guardians and occasional escaped experiments down here, though that may just be rumor.
Wow, thanks. The possibility of even greater danger certainly sets my mind at ease. Thanks, Fire.
Stop calling me that.
What?
Get back!
Whoa!
Good job. That creature was known as...
A mimic. Yeah, I've heard of those things. Didn't expect it to be so... slimy, though. Why did it have a key inside of it, though? Did it eat someone like the cube did?
Probably not. Otherwise, we would have seen some more gruesome evidence of the meal. No, some people feed mimics various items that they need to hide or protect. If you know how to handle one of these things, they can be rather convenient guardians. As long as you keep them fed, that is.
Yeah, I can imagine the alternative.
Well, unfortunately, it seems that this ensorcelled armor is tied to the exit. Unless you have a powerful dispelling magic at your disposal that you have neglected to mention, you will have to defeat this thing to undo the seal over the door.
You're saying I have to fight a piece of armor with no obvious weaknesses, or even a person inside to take out? Let me guess, I have to just beat it into a useless hunk of metal, kinda like I did the scarecrows?
Precisely.
I'm really starting to hate constructs. Better be worth all the trouble we've gone to, Vair. How are we going to get someone to help us, though? We're breaking in.
Let us consider that later. First, we need to get out of these tunnels. Someone might have heard the battle or noticed that the enchantment of the door is broken. We can determine our course once we are safely hidden within the inner ward.
Ah. Nice place.
Thank you. Unfortunately for you, chances are that you will only see it as you are taken away to a prison cell.
Get us out of here. We cannot be imprisoned. Not in a cell. Fight! Run! Do something!
Are you joking? There's so many of them! We'll be torn to shreds if we resist!
While we would normally have prevented you from coming this far, Sage Thesserai has taken an interest in you. Now you are to attend him personally.
Whatever you do, do not allow them to incarcerate us.
Who is Sage Thesserai?
Seriously, you broke into here without even knowing who the people in charge are. Not a very wise burglar, are you?
Who are you?
I am a captain within the Avowed City Guard, and probably the person to lock your cell door behind you. That is all you need know.
What does this Thesserai person want with me?
Sage Thesserai said that they found you curious, but did not elaborate. They also said that your meager powers could not pose a serious threat to him or us. Keep that in mind, lest you try something rash.
Okay, I'll go. Where do I find them?
He is waiting for you in Exaltation, the Keep. Consider this an honor, as few of those outside of the Avowed are allowed entry to our home. You are to head directly to the Great Library. Do not attempt to deviate from the main path. We will be watching you.
That is far enough.
Are you Thesserai?
I am.
Why am I here?
You caught my interest. We have all sorts of detection spells in the sewers. You pinged a half-dozen of them when you sneaked in, and a dozen more when you entered the catacombs.
What do you do here?
I'm the Sage of Magic in Candlekeep. That means that I am the leading scholar on magic and the department head of magical studies here. I also work as a lawmaker with the other sages. It's not terribly glamorous, if I'm being honest. It involves lots of committee work.
Poof! I am here! What are your other 2 wishes?
Wishes? I don't, Good one.
What happens to me now?
Do not attempt to resist the spell. If you resist, then we will have to detain you and try again until you cooperate. Lots of extra bother.
As the spell activates, you feel something press against your mind, and on some level you know that it is trying to pry away your ability to lie. The intrusion is sudden and sets your teeth on edge, and your first reaction is to resist. However, considering where you are and the promise of a jail cell, or worse if you do not cooperate, You relax and allow the spell to take hold.
Good. Now let's get the boring stuff over with. Do you intend to harm anyone in this city, be it specifically in terms of property or any other way that includes, but is not limited to, theft, spying, or harassment?
No, I do not.
Good. Next, why did you sneak into the inner ward?
We need the help of someone who understands magic, and we cannot afford to wait.
We? There are more of you. Well, let's come back to that. Okay, now the interesting stuff. Why do some of our spells register you as a dragon and a human? You aren't some abomination, and you aren't a construct or other made thing, so what exactly are you?
Careful.
Is it bad if I'm part dragon or something?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen something quite like this before. Rather than kick you out or put you in some sort of lab, though, I would really rather you just tell me. Otherwise, I might have to be a bit more personal with my investigations. Nothing painful, of course. Well, I hope, anyhow.
Why do you want to know?
Because this is rather new to me. I've seen and read about much, but this is something I have not personally come across.
I am sharing my body with a rather cranky dragon, and we both really like to fix that.
That actually confirms one of my hypotheses. It also poses a lot more questions, but that's gratifying at least. How about while we've got this handy zone of truth working, you just tell me everything you can about how this dragon came to inhabit you, and we work from there. Well, hopefully they will be able to use what you told us to find out more about this group that you encountered and the monsters accompanying them. In the meanwhile, we need to discuss whether or not Candlekeep will assist you in your predicament.
Whether or... How could they refuse us? Tell him that Endandravayer demands their aid. It is only fitting that they should restore me to my rightful form.
And Andravair says that he demands your help. That it's only right that you put him back in his body.
Does he now? Well, I don't see as he is in any position to be making demands, much less determining wrong and right.
I am a golden dragon. My very nature is to know right from wrong. Tell him not to question me.
He says that he knows right and wrong better than you do.
Does he? Well, I may not be an expert on dragons, but I am a fan of them and have heard his name before. I cannot say that it has been treated with much reverence or gratitude, as Endandravair has a reputation for isolating himself and neglecting to help those in need, even if they ask for his aid. Seems to me that we neither owe him anything nor that we can trust his moral judgment, much less treat his decisions as lawful righteous commands.
What do you mean? Are you turning us away? Why bother looking into the people that attacked Vair then?
Vair? Funny. I figured he would be too proud to accept the nickname everyone calls him.
Everyone calls me that?
But no, I am not turning you away, at least not yet.
Is there a way we can convince you to help?
Well, yes, I happen to have something in mind. You see, there is a clock tower nearby where a colleague of mine named Adro lives. However, no one has heard from him in some time. Since there have been reports of monsters going in and out as they please, it is probably safe to assume that Adro is now dead. Sad as that is, the old codger had a valuable book in his collection. I want you to clear out the vermin, and if Wizard Adro is imprisoned or injured, help him. If he is missing or dead, then find and take the book. You do this, and we'll call it even as far as your crimes go.
This will clear the charges against us?
Yes, as these monsters could threaten travelers and any avowed who venture beyond our walls, if left alone.
What's the book I'm looking for?
The last written work of the late and great Archmage Mordenkainen, the Planeswalker's Guide, Interplanar Travel and its Effects on Spellcraft.
Sounds interesting.
Yes, fascinating, really, and far safer to learn from than by visiting the other planes of existence yourself. Adro got nearly everything he needed by selling us just an hour or two with that book every few months.
What if I don't come back? Maybe I just decide to run away.
Then you will have to look elsewhere for a cure to your body's occupancy issues. I dare say you would have to travel all the way to Luskin or Neverwinter to find anyone who might even be capable of helping you. Quite the gamble for such a long and hazardous journey, which I can promise very good odds from working with us.
Promising good odds doesn't sound like much of a promise.
No, but I can promise that they are the best you will find. Candlekeep and its resources are your greatest hope. Besides, if you do not count this little pest control issue, you might as well be getting access to our services for free.
Never mind that the pests might eat me.
Nothing risked, nothing gained, right? Excellent! Well, in that case, I am looking forward to hearing from you once you have concluded your investigation. Until then, try not to die.
I have been instructed to allow you to and from the inner ward as you please. But if you step out of line again, I will arrest you. Enjoy the sights.
Pleasant woman.
I don't know. I figure you two would get along handsomely.
I understand that was supposed to be a joke, but even so, I fail to see the similarities.
Yeah, you would. Not these things again! Why were they here too?
If I were to hazard a guess, they are guarding the path to the tower.
You think the person who put some in the farmers' fields also left these ones here?
It is possible. We will discover more at the tower, I suspect.
Feeling a special connection with nature in this place, Druids created this shrine long ago. The shrine is meant to heighten the magic of nature found here and allow visitors to commune with the earth. Even now, centuries later, the site is witness to all manner of events, from purification rituals to weddings to the swearing of oaths. This ship drifted into harbour several years ago, bearing no crew except for the swarm of rats that had infested the vessel. After crashing against a nearby island, home to Candlekeep's lighthouse, the ship beached itself here. Local authorities and residents came to inspect the wreck, but found not even the remains of the crew, leading them to believe that the ship was haunted. No one has had the guts to dismantle it since. A nondescript but productive mine, Iron Throne has gained something of a reputation among the locals. This place has a history of being taken over by monsters that then turn it into their new home, until the local militia or a band of adventurers removes them. Why goblins, orcs and other nasty things so prefer this cave over others in the area is anyone's guess.
That must be it.
A bit grandiose, but still quite appealing.
There! I see the monsters. Let's get this over with.
Wait, did you hear that? Well, I mean, I know you heard it because I heard it, but whether you acknowledged it or not is... It's those things again from my cabin.
Definitely fighting the monsters around the tower now, though. What should we do?
Vair remains silent, unresponsive save for the occasional guttural growl. The goblins and red things are clearly set against the pale creatures. From what little you saw, it seems as if they were caught getting too close to the monsters waiting around the tower's base.
What are those winged red creatures?
Imps. Devils that are nearly at the bottom of the Infernal Legion's hierarchy. I find it curious that they are here, though it is possible that Wizard Adro has bound them to his tower as guardians. Still, it is a pitiful defense for such a respected spellcaster, and I do not know how the goblins factor into this.
Let's watch them tear each other apart. No sense getting caught in the middle.
Wait. Remember the catacombs. We must assume that this place is similarly trapped.
Can you see anything with your magic sight?
Yes, but I cannot make out the details from here. Nor am I terribly versed in wizardly magics. The spell on the door to the catacombs was heavy-handed and obvious. These enchantments are more subtle. I can point out general paths and principles, however it may take the two of us to puzzle them out completely.
You reach forward and place your hand on the rough metallic door handle. Turning it, you hear a latch click, but the door does not open. As you try to force it, you feel a little wiggle just before a flash of light around the doorframe dazzles you and a blast of lightning smashes into your chest and courses through your body, sending you toppling to the doorstep as you lose control of your own muscles. Shaking and smelling a bit of burned hair, you finally manage to pull yourself upright.
Lightning again? What is it with these wizards and lightning?
You kick the door and it buckles with a satisfying crack, even as a shock of lightning threatens to knock you down. Shaking off the pain and disorientation, you kick the door again and this time it swings open, the enchantment holding it shut, overpowered and broken.
I must say those were rather puny defenses as far as wizards' homes go. I'm increasingly inclined to think that someone else has taken residence here.
Human, stop! Leave or we kill you!
If you do not leave this tower, right away I will destroy each of you. I will spare no one.
Then we kill you first!
Excellent work, brothers and sisters. This wayward lamb will be a worthy offering to our Lord and Savior.
Break us out of here, Katra, now!
Nice try, kid. But this trap was designed to keep creatures far more dangerous than you contained.
No! You shall not be caged! You filthy worms, let us out.
What are you going to do with me?
Why, sacrifice you. Tempting as it might be to try and recruit you, we have been running out of souls to offer our Lord.
Katra, you have to kill them. Maybe you can break through the floor, or perhaps try the wall again, or do something to force them into lowering the barrier, or...
After a few moments of analysing their clothing, something clicks. These people have neither bound the imps you found in and around the tower, nor are they simply borrowing power from creatures of the lower planes. They worship those creatures.
What are you doing in this tower? What happened to the wizard who lived here?
Oh, why do the people we capture always think they're going to get answers from us? What's the point of telling you anything? You will die soon, and it is more entertaining and safer to watch you squirm in ignorance.
Fair. I need you to focus. I need you to help us get out. Do you think you could see or find anything useful in this barrier? Maybe a way to dispel it.
I don't... I'll try. There are channels in this barrier that the magic has to flow through. I think that if you touch that glowing point on the wall, you can redirect the magical current to wherever you step. If you pull the current to every part of the barrier, I think it will disrupt the entire working and cause it to collapse. Oh, I'm sorry. It's quite difficult to think and maintain the sight for more than a moment at a time. Please hurry.
What happened? The prisoner!
Kill them! Kill them before they flee!
Do not even think about fleeing! Eradicate these scum! Destroy them for daring to imprison us!
Hey, are you feeling alright? You got pretty worked up when we were trapped, and have been pretty quiet ever since.
I am fine.
Are you sure? You kind of...
I said that I am fine. Do you not have matters to attend more pressing than badgering me?
You know you can talk to me, right?
Of course. I will avail myself of your ear if ever there is anything to talk about. Until then, I can keep my peace and enjoy silence every now and then, or must you insist on idle chatter?
Alright. But it sounds to me like you're sulking about something.
How dare you? How about rather than pestering me with your inane drivel, you complete this task that was set for you, so that the two of us might sooner part ways and never suffer the other's company again? Be silent and do your job.
As you enter this room, you find the door across from you, the only way forward, shrouded in a magical barrier. In the center of the room sits a filled goblet on a pedestal. High above the door shines a crystal that is jammed into a crack between the stones. With Vair's help, you can see that the crystal, goblet, and barrier are linked. Even from where you stand, you can see that the crystal has a series of wards around it, not to mention that even reaching the thing would prove a challenge. Written before the goblet on the pedestal is a note that says, "An act of faith and proof of fealty to our Lord. Drink and embrace the shadow of death to demonstrate your devotion."
It would seem that the crystal powers the barrier, and that drinking the goblet's contents will either allow you to pass through it or temporarily lower the defense. Judging by that note, however, I would guess that whatever is in that drink would not be good for your health.
Whatever is in this liquid will certainly hurt you if you ingest it. It will not kill you, but depending on your tolerance for nausea, you may wish it had. You can also tell that the goblet refills as soon as it is emptied. The walls are fairly sheer, but if you get up there, you might be able to disarm the crystal embedded in the wall. Grabbing onto the torch sconces and holding yourself up, you reach for a crack in the wall for a handhold, only to feel the sconce crack and jerk as it starts to fall from the wall. Surprised and thrown off balance, you tumble from the wall and land heavily on your side, feeling something in your shoulder crack. The drink is room temperature, but it leaves a sensation like ice pricking your skin as it washes down your throat. Nausea and cramps soon follow, but they are manageable and your body feels otherwise functional.
Are you sure you're ready to face whoever is behind that door? This is the last room in the tower, and considering that we have not encountered them yet, it is probably where this lord we have heard so much about is waiting.
You should not have come here. I've certainly made a mess of things, and now our Lord is upset.
Yes, though it has been entertaining to watch you struggle and claw your way here one step at a time. You have caused enough damage. Besides, I am bored, and while sacrifices are all well and good, I enjoy brutalizing my victims far too much to ignore what hapless fools wander right through my door. Oh, suffer! The power of a devil runs through my veins. What do you have? The power of a devil runs through my veins. What do you have?
There, the Planeswalker's Guide. That is the book that Sage Thesserai sent us to retrieve. Now, what to do about this one? They seem rather powerful, but perhaps Thesserai and the other sages would prefer to keep them for questioning.
What? What have you done? You've doomed us all! Do you even know what is coming? You've destroyed our only hope at a safe haven against...
Against what?
Ah!
Enlightenment?
Ah! Ah!
Believe me, Novus, there is nothing that can protect you from the forces of the universe. They will learn.
Contra,
Give
get
her
us out of
some
here.
time
Run.
to see the
We need to
errors
run.
of her ways. Then she can dream that this never happened and apologizes before waking up. Useful, primitive and temporary, but even these figments of our imaginations that you call people create the occasional useful tool. Have you the eyes for such a thing? Have you the sight to recognize what lies in the blackest abyss? It seems to me that you might, but... no. Never mind. There was something familiar about you. Perhaps something that I met in you some months down the line. Your role in this world is done. Enjoy the coming sleep and, in your slumber, be ready for the awakening once the true gods come to call.
Can you walk? Swim! Get us out of the water! Move! Now! I did not think to see that thing here. That was more than we bargained for when we took this job.
What was it saying? I couldn't understand half of that.
Nor could I. It did not seem like a language barrier. Their accent and pronunciation was clear. However, whatever that abomination was spouting sounded like nonsense.
What was that about dreams and true gods?
I am as much in the dark as you are. They sounded at least half mad to me.
Are you okay? You seemed really shaken when it showed up.
And you seemed to be thrown from the top of a tower. Nothing about that encounter was normal.
The cultists kept saying things about that devil saving them, and then the last one looked like they recognized the masked man when he appeared. Any ideas?
None, except that they might be rivals for the same goal, whatever that may be. Still, The masked man talked about coming gods, and the cultists spoke of an approaching cataclysm. It is not too much of a stretch to think they are linked.
No chance we can go after that masked man, can we?
You would even want to? Are you mad? They toyed with you like a cat with an injured bird. You should feel fortunate that they went through a portal and that you are unable to pursue them. Hopefully they are gone far, far away.
I think I've had enough of this tower and everything in it. You?
Yes, I think returning to Candlekeep and its walls seems like a very reasonable and pleasant proposition. Though I will admit that I want to know what they have done with my body. We were in no shape to contend with that man or monster or whatever manner of creature is behind that mask. Even if we should find a way to track them, though, perhaps there is nothing to be done for my body anyhow. It could already be gone, or simply pursuing that masked figure will result in both of our deaths. For now, report to Thessarai. They will want to know what we have found.
You know, you've been rather quiet since we left the tower. Something I should know? Something is clearly bothering you. It might help to share the burden.
I let my emotions get the better of me. When we were trapped in that barrier, I was not thinking clearly. And even if I had been clear-headed, there was so little that I could do. It's galling. I feel as though I am not much of a dragon anymore. I cannot say as I even feel particularly useful. I feel weak. Ever since I lost my body, I have had little or no control over my life. It's unsettling. I hate it.
That's understandable. I can only imagine what that feels like.
You needn't imagine anything. You and your breed are inherently weak. Pawns of fate that can only hope to not be caught in the conflicts of those greater than you.
Okay. If you're going to be that way, then go ahead and sulk in silence. I don't need to hear that.
Very well.
I was wondering if you would return at all. I considered scrying to see if you had decided to just make a run for it. Glad to see you didn't.
We've got the book you wanted.
Ah, excellent. Oh, does that mean that, Adro...
Yeah, he's dead. The weakling couldn't even defend his own tower, it seems.
That weakling was one of the finest scholars on interplanar politics and commerce, and the academic community is much the poorer for his loss. I kindly ask that you treat his memory with at least some respect.
A cult of devil worshippers had taken over his tower and removed him.
Devil worshippers? That's a bit, extreme. I certainly hope that Adro had nothing to do with them. So many people seem to forget how committing your soul to a devil is usually a rather permanent affair. I would not want that for him. He could be unpleasant, yes, but he was a good man, all things considered. Do you know what they wanted from his tower, or why they were there?
They had some sort of portal. I think they were using it to summon more devils and stay in contact with the devil in charge.
That cannot have been their only reason for being there, though. They could have taken residence and opened a portal anywhere.
Well, they did say something about needing a safe place. They thought there was some sort of impending calamity and were using the tower as a fortress.
Really? Did they say what this calamity would entail?
We didn't really get that far in conversation. Between them trying to sacrifice me and all that.
Ha! All right, that is fair. I suppose I had hoped for too much.
We did, however, run into that masked man we told you about, though. The one that was in the cave when Vyre was taken out of his body.
Really? What happened?
He sounded like he was spouting nonsense. Neither Vyre nor I could figure it out, but he then killed one of the cultists and their leader before taking whatever they were using to open the portal. A couple of its minions were also killed outside the tower while fighting against the things living there.
Pretty fair indication that they're not exactly friendly acquaintances, then.
Is this enough, then? Will you help us?
Help you? Whoever said that I would help you?
You did? You said that you would help us if we cleared out the tower and got your book for you.
I said that I would wipe the slate clean regarding your criminal activities and waive your fee for entrance to the Great Library. The matter of helping you with your little identity crisis is something else entirely.
How dare you? After I risked my life to get you what you wanted.
In exchange for sponging away your crimes and keeping you out of a jail cell, or perhaps an experimentation chamber. Seems rather fair, actually. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just toying with you a bit. I was planning on helping you from the start, as the problem piqued my curiosity. Though this ought to remind you that you should be careful about what someone says and what you agree to. There are plenty of devious people and creatures out there. Either way, I had actually already begun investigating some leads. This may not exactly align with my specialty, but we have hundreds of researchers in my department, so I've enlisted their help.
You can just do that? Get them to drop their own projects?
Of course. What good is being a head bureaucrat if you cannot throw around your weight a little every now and then? Oh, and speaking of assistance, I should also note that no one has been able to identify the creatures that you described to me earlier. That in itself is rather peculiar, considering how many people in this city are fascinated with magical creatures. None of our experts have any answers, though. Fortunately, the Avowed are a curious lot, and are working all the harder to determine who or what you encountered. Since you ran into one of their kind again, if their bodies are still where you slew them in the woods, finding and examining their anatomy would go a long way towards solving the riddle. I will send someone out to find and retrieve them.
Did you know Wizard Adro particularly well?
He was actually the last disciple of my late master Mordenkainen. It is how he came to possess our master's last written work. We trained together for a little while, though I struck out on my own while he was still an apprentice. They were both far more invested in the workings of the multiverse than I was. If I'm being entirely honest, I was always a little jealous of how well they got along. Still, it is hard to imagine that both of them are gone now.
Is there anything we can do to help speed up the research?
Not now, I'm afraid. Now it is just a matter of giving our Avowed some time.
What should Vyre and I do in the meanwhile?
Well, you're always welcome to find other work in the area. Otherwise, you have been through quite a lot in the past few weeks. Go to the inn, get some rest. Come see me again once you've had a solid night's sleep. I may have some more information for you by then.
What can I do for you?
Do you have an open room for the night?
Yeah, haven't had a lot of customers lately since most travelers aren't being let into the city. So you got your pick of the place. Just be 1 gold piece.
Yikes, that's kind of pricey.
It's the lowest rate I can offer. Take it or leave it.
Here you go.
Thank you. Now, let me just show you to your room.
No. Stay away. No. Stop it. Leave me alone. Go away!
Vair! Vair! And Vair! It's okay!
No.
one cares.
Leave me.
Just us.
Get back!
Okay?
Where are they? Carter, where are they? They...
That's not the first time you've had a dream like that. It's getting worse.
Yes, they are.
What were you dreaming about?
You needn't pretend. You saw it too.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
About last night.
Please, do not speak of it.
It's just that... Was the experience really that bad? Having your body stolen. I know you were scared, but those dreams you have and the way you acted when the cultists caught us...
I said not to speak of it. I want no reminder of that. But if you really insist on satisfying your childish, idiotic curiosity, then just know this. Having my soul ripped from my body was the most painful thing that I have ever experienced. I did not know that pain could be so complete or overwhelming. Not being able to do anything about it was even worse. Now be silent and go speak with the sage.
Ah, there you are. The Avowed and I have been working on your conundrum. I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Let's hear the good news.
Well, to begin with, we have found a way to safely separate Vair's soul from your body and put it back into his own while expelling the parasite that is latched onto him.
What's the bad news?
The bad news, I'm afraid, is that the artifact you need to put Vair back into his own body is rather far away, and may not actually be where we think it is. You see, while investigating, we encountered 2 principal problems. Removing and transporting another creature's soul is actually rather simple if you have the appropriate knowledge or equipment. I've done it myself on several occasions. The problems are that Endandravaya's body is already inhabited by a living creature that may have some control over it, and furthermore, we do not know how much damage this creature has inflicted on Vair's body, nor whether removing the parasite forcibly would do even more. For all we know, removing the creature would kill Vair's body, and trying to put his soul back into it would be, well, pointless. He would simply die as any other creature does when their body expires. To address this, we tracked down an artifact known as the Rod of Alignment. Its relatively simple, if exceptionally powerful function, is to set things back into their natural intended state. It can only do so on a limited scale and needs time to recharge, but it should do the trick.
What's the catch?
The catch is that, like I said, we are not absolutely sure about where it is. We just have a very good guess that will at least put you on the artifact's trail.
You sure there isn't a simpler solution?
Well, you could perhaps gather a group of exceptionally powerful clerics to simultaneously heal Vair's body while moving his soul, but that would be a delicate process requiring multiple powerful spellcasters, provided they're even willing. Simply finding and recruiting such people could take years.
Will that be enough on its own?
Yes, though depending on how powerful the parasite is, you will likely need to weaken the creature before the artifact can extract it. Living things can resist magical effects, but weakening the target will reduce its ability to do so. The rod was last seen in the possession of Myastan Kimmerin, a morally dubious dragonborn druid. Without getting into too many details, he was last seen with it in Icewind Dale when going to speak to a storm giant friend of his who lives in the area. There have not been any reports of the artifact since that visit, though Kimmerin has certainly left their mark on various places without it in the intervening time, so we think it may have been left in the storm giant's keeping. If not, then they may have an idea of where to find it.
Where exactly is Icewind Dale?
It's far to the north, beyond the spine of the World Mountain Range. It's about a 1,200-mile trip from here.
You're kidding. It took me nearly 2 weeks to come even a tenth of that distance.
Yeah, I probably should have included that in the bad news category.
Who is Mayastan, exactly?
Mayastan is his dragonborn clan name. Kimmerin has made a name for himself by protecting wild places and, well, destroying or sabotaging anyone that threatens them in any way. He has hurt a good number of people with his rather extreme methods.
And how are we supposed to get this giant to help us?
I don't know. That is for you to figure out. I'm sure that a resourceful duo like yourselves can manage.
We should get going, then. Any recommendations for getting to Icewind Dale?
Well, there's a ship heading north in the next day or so. I arranged passage for you, though you will have to find other ships heading north on your own once this one stops in Waterdeep. Shouldn't be too troublesome this time of year. Oh, and one last thing. One of our occultists was able to identify those grinning creatures that you have encountered. They are called Gru, and are part of a large, mysterious category of creatures commonly called Starspawn. Whatever their purpose is here, it cannot be good. The few times the Starspawn Gru are mentioned in our books usually labels them as minions, shock troopers, and harbingers for even greater evils and agents of ancient mad gods. How they came here is unknown, but their very presence is troubling. The people working with them probably worship whatever elder god the Gru serve. I suspect that you have found a cult of the Old Ones, which may explain why the man in the mask was interested in the devil cultists you found in Adro's Tower. They would likely have similar goals and could be using similar resources.
This information has left Theseus shaken. He does not seem worried so much about the Gru themselves as to what their appearance in our world might mean.
What else can you tell us about these things?
Unfortunately, not much. Very little is known about them other than that they come from a place beyond the known multiverse. Morton Kanan himself never dared travel to their home, as it is a place beyond human reason or understanding. Simply going there would destroy a mortal, or at the very least drive them insane.
What might they want with Endandravair's body?
It's impossible to say. Many creatures that come from other planes have been known to open more portals to their homes and thereby facilitate an invasion. Theoretically, since dragons are tied to the very nature of magic in our world, they could use him as a focus or anchor point, though they would also need his soul for that, since the soul is what really ties dragons to Faerun. It could be that they simply need a host large enough for the parasite. There's also the possibility that they have taken his body to their home plane, in which case there is nothing we could do.
Thank you for the information.
Limited as it was. Keep this with you as you travel. You can use this to contact me from anywhere in Faerun at any time. If you're in dire trouble, or if you encounter something that might be very interesting to me, use that. Otherwise, abuse this privilege and I will sever the connection permanently. Now go down to the docks and you will find passage on a ship heading north. Good luck.